What it do, surprise Shawty crew, and hey, my Daizee loves. Let the bonnet be proof that I had plans and God had other plans. I'm going to try to be brief as always. But the last few days, I've been reminded of a situation, of an experience, and I don't think I've ever shared it with y'all. I was waking up in the wee hours of the morning, and the Lord was like whispering to me about it. And so I didn't really take time to think about it until I was like winding down just then. So let's do a quick story time. About nearly a decade ago, I had a friend, and she was not a good friend to me the majority of the time. But we all know over the years, I've learned how to spot red flags, jealousy. And even in me saying this, I just thank God for my growth in my heart. And I'm going to try to record a short. So just remember this part when you see the short. But I remember when she would say slick little things and have outbursts. And it would hurt my feelings. But I've always been a good friend, I feel like, to other people. Like, I was a good friend to her. Even after she'd had different outbursts and in those moments tried to hurt my feelings and stuff. I remember this one particular day, she was crying to me about feeling like her mom, maybe even her grandma. And if it wasn't her grandma, it was her aunties. And it could have been her mama, her aunties, and her grandma. I remember her telling me that they were cursed. And I was like, no, like, don't claim that. And she was even getting irate even when I was trying to tell her that too. But it was because, like, I didn't want her to believe that about her life, about herself, about her future, like on some real genuine stuff. Like, girl, no. And even if that was their pattern, that doesn't have to be, you know, what happens with you. I was, you know, like being Megan. Like, I've always been like this, y'all. And so fast forward, I go to visit her family. I go with her. We have another friend, and we go to visit her family. And I guess I should also mention somewhere in between here, I realized, I recognize, like, this has always been an issue, but I had something that a lot of young girls, a lot of women, they desire to have or to become. And even when I say that, I feel like God let me go through what I went through in that. And that still proves my heart was for him. But that's neither here nor there. But I feel like she was upset about a number of things. I think she was upset about that. I think she was upset about that curse she felt like they had. And then when you look at me, that's what I'm saying. Like, I thank God for humbling me and keeping me humble. And I pray he always does. And then when you look at me, it's like I'm walking, living proof that that doesn't have to be the case. That curse doesn't have to be the case. You can achieve this. You get what I'm saying? So I feel like a lot of times, and even though, well, no, I'm not saying this instance. We're talking about something that's more of like a physical possession, but also the curses is a spiritual thing too. But when people look at you, I feel like it's about to be way longer than I anticipated. When people look at you, you are literally proof that there was another way, that there is another way. And so that can stir up a lot of emotions in them. That can cause chaos and conflicts within them, and turmoil and rage. And that's why I think she would have all those outbursts with me, and even not just her other situations, but that can stir up a lot of feelings. So I think she was upset about that. And then also when we went to go visit her family, the whole friend group and everything I thought was cool. No, we'll get to that. She was also upset about my relationship status and situation at that time. Okay, but I can tell y'all that now, looking back, in the moment, in it, I didn't see that. This is making 10 years later, like, oh, and this was always going to be a problem. Let me tell you why it was going to be a problem. Because at the end of the day, what she felt was the actual curse, was a heart posture. So if you see someone and you see it's different, or you see everybody didn't have to go through that, everybody didn't have to experience that, and instead of that making you like hopeful and also like, I'm going to make sure my kids get to be, you know, free of that. That's one way. And that's the way I think God wants us to feel, right? But I understand being a human, right? That's why we have to check our heart. That's why we have to have control. That's why we need the fruit of the Spirit. That's why we need the Holy Spirit. Some people, when they see you, like I said, like that, it stirs up all those emotions. And it's literally like they hate you because you didn't experience what they had to experience. And looking back, I'm like, okay, this makes sense. And so let me make this real personal, okay? It would be like me taking out my frustration and anger of my own traumas, and let's keep it a buck. Sexual abuse, that would be like me being mean and nasty and horrible and jealous of every girl who ain't never gone through that. You get what I'm saying? So can you imagine what that's like walking around every day and that's how you feel about people who ain't gone through what you went through? Like, you haven't healed, but I hadn't healed. Like, I didn't really heal from that until I was an adult, but I can't imagine being mad at people, and even if under the assumption of, like, nothing bad ever happened to them. You get what I'm saying? But again, I know we're human. I know we have feelings. And even with the baby, you don't understand because you ain't been through that. Because I do be feeling like that. Like, you don't know how that feels, actually, right? But I'm not going to be mean to you. I'm not going to... You get what I'm saying? Like, there's a level of that. Like, there's human, and then there's, like, think some other stuff may have felt those hurts. You know what I'm saying? So, keep all that in mind. Story time. We get to that location, and one of the first things her mom asked me is like, are your parents together? And now that took me aback. It wasn't even so much the statement, it was the tone. Now, granted, again, hindsight, I realized I did pull up in a nice vehicle, all of that. I was driving my mama car for years at this period, and me not thinking much of it, like, I'm so carefree that I really don't pay attention sometimes, and I'm oblivious. And then I also don't know if it's because I'm low key, neurodivergent. I really just process stuff super late. Like, I didn't even catch what she was doing when she said that. Like, I'm in the backseat of the car laughing, hee-hee-heeing with my friends, not even thinking, because I was thinking about this today too. Like, she probably had told her mom all about me prior to me actually meeting her mom, because we were supposed to be friends. You get what I'm saying? So even her asking me that, now looking back, like, she probably knew that. Why are you asking me that? Did she want me to feel bad about it? I was like, yeah, they are, and just kept on ha-ha, hee-heeing with them in the backseat of the car. So stuff transpires over the weekend, and when people want to be mad at you, they will find any reason to be mad at you. So that's what happened. I will argue I was actually having breakthrough. And so I don't know if that's why he's reminding me of this, because I wasn't aware of all those things back then. And I just didn't, I wasn't aware back then. So I will argue I was having breakthrough at this point, and she could see it, and her mom could see it, and they attacked me. They attacked me. That's what happened. So she acted a fool, and then to make matters worse, her mama also acted a fool towards me. Now, mind you, I'm early 20s, like early 20s. And that means her mama got to have at least 20, 25, 30 years on me. You know what I'm saying? Like, ma'am. So she acted a fool. Her mom acted a fool. And something I've been thinking about today, just like, and I wonder why I had such bad anxiety. Like, duh, of course I did. People have been taking out their venomous anger, rage, hate on me my whole life. Anyways, acted a fool, and she tried to pull my mama into it, which shout out to my mama and her boundaries, actually. But not only that, in a way to where it would affect my mama and daddy had my mama not had the boundaries she had. Like, her mom called my mama. Mind you, this is like a 40-plus-year-old woman. I'm also semi-grown, though. Like, I'm saying I'm younger than her, but, like, I'm pretty grown. Like, she called my mom. She was trying to tell on me, talk bad about me, and was like, does your husband know this? What in the world does my daddy have to do with this situation? What did my mama have to do with this situation? And why are you calling my mom? Now, here's the thing. I didn't have good boundaries. So I'm over here like, yo, how did she call my mama? She asked me for my mom's number. She was being so mean, so intimidating. I was staying there. You get what I'm saying? She was like, you need to give me your mom's number. Even though I'm grown. Like, I'm looking back now and I'm like, I cannot believe I let that lady do me like that. I really should have turned up. But I'm not like that. So I gave her my mom's number. She called my mama. My mama getting ready to go to work, maybe. I don't even know. But I just remember my mom being like, what in the world? And then her literally trying to, does your husband know? What? Ma'am, she was so pressed about my parents being together. Now, I will tell y'all, that was the curse that my friend was crying to me about. That she felt like she was going to end up like her mama, her aunties. Well, that auntie we was with, that wasn't the case. So maybe it was just the mom and the grandma. I don't know. Some of her aunties, I'm unsure. But that was the curse. So I'm telling y'all this story time. I'm in this deep reflection because I need you to understand you've been dealing with generational hate. I need you to be on the lookout for generational hate. And I also need you to remember that Jezebel had a daughter. So those years ago when I was doing those prayers about uprooting her out of your life, out of your spouse's life, out of your territory, Jezebel has a daughter. So all these years when God has been reminding me of this situation and I've never shared it with y'all, that's what he was talking to me about. That lady and that girl, that's generational hate. That's generational curses. The curse isn't that you aren't, married. The curse isn't you aren't with your child's father. The curse is at the core, you are disobedient. You are hateful. Your heart is nasty. Like, I'm looking back on that situation. That's the curse. And because you don't realize how rebellious and disgusting your heart is, and that's being passed throughout the generations. You're not telling your daughters go seek the Lord, surrender, seek God's best friend. You're not telling them that. You teaching them to behave how you are behaving, which is disgusting. I'm looking back on this situation now. I'm like, I cannot believe this happened. I really can't. Like, that's really crazy. I also want to remind y'all of a dream I had where I was not only dragging Jezebel, but I was dragging her daughter. So it's already been prophesied over your life that you would defeat that in your life, right? And you would be able to pray against that in your spouse's life. Whatever is going on, it was already prophesied that you would be able to defeat that. I was about to say delete that, but yeah, delete it. Go to Revelations 2. It's towards verse 20. And the Lord talks about what he's going to do with Jezebel and her followers. I think one version says her children, but they got to die. And I was dragging sis in the dream. So it's already been prophesied that you would defeat that. But you are dealing with generational hate. And yes, I'm talking about an actual physical mother-daughter duo. Because like I said, I was having a lot of breakthrough, I feel like, at that moment. And then all hell broke loose shortly after. And I've seen different videos and they're saying like to figure out who was doing witchcraft on you. Who did you have around? And I was like, I wouldn't even think about this, honestly. But you are defeating generational hate. And it's not even just in, like I said, in those two physical people. It's generational hate in your bloodline. Okay? It's generational hate in the world. Do you understand what I'm saying? You are defeating generational hate. We always talk about the generational curses. That's what it is. It's that rebellion in your heart. Like, it's not the actual, like, oh, I'm destined to have this same outcome. You are, if you are not going to surrender to God, if you are not going to be obedient to God, if you are not going to seek his will for your life, if you are not going to work on your heart, do you get what I'm saying? You are destined to repeat some very similar situations, right? And then in my instance, and I always say that people be so mad at me about stuff I can't control. My parents are not perfect, but them some obedient folks. Do you get what I'm saying? They love the Lord. They made tough decisions. They not perfect, but them some obedient folks. So you're mad at me. You're mad that I have parents that love me, all this stuff, but they were obedient. Jezebel's a witch and her daughter, I just saw this video. It said video title because I didn't watch it. It said mistress of evil. But I don't care who you think you is. I dreamt I was dragging both of them. You're not allowed over here. That repeating of patterns of rebellion, toxicity, disobedience, witchcraft, sexual immorality, whatever we want to list out, that's not coming over here. I was dragging her. And if I'm not mistaken, I was dragging sis by the hair. By the hair. Get out. I gotta go. If I find the video where I'm talking about a dream, I'll reshare it tonight if I find it. But I just want you to realize that. I feel like I lived that out, real life experience. That lady out the gate, not, hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you. Are your mom and dad together? Like, now that I think about it, I'm like, I should have left. You know what? It's time for me to go. But I thank God because all this stuff I've gone through is really why I am like aware and I have the pattern recognition and stuff that I have now, because I'm like, I already know how this finna go, because I've been in too many situations. You was too old to be pressed about me and my family, and then also trying to interfere and like, are you okay? Is you cool? Why are you calling my mama? And why are you mentioning if my daddy know? I didn't even do nothing wrong. That's what's crazy. You literally just wanted to try to come in. Nah, sis, we're not doing that. We're not doing that, actually. This is why I'm going to make the short. I sincerely hope and pray that that girl that was my friend was able to figure that out and beat the curse. And that's why I'm going to do the short. Our hearts are different. That's why God bless us the way that he do. Yeah, I'm turned up talking about it. At the end of the day, I really do hope she figured that out. Because sincerely, that day when she cried to me about it, I told her that didn't have to be her fate. And it didn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's really crazy. But that was an all-out attack and a point where I didn't realize, looking back, that I probably was having breakthrough. And, oh, last thing. So all that happened, and I was picking up on the jealousy, and she was running her mouth talking crazy on Snapchat and stuff, and I had my own Snapchat, and I do remember I had cut her off, blocked her and stuff, like, you're not finna be talking to me like you crazy and your mama crazy. We will never be friends again. And, because I feel like at that point, like, you really become, like, too threatening to me, right? And to prove the point and drive it on home even more, I had put on Snapchat, like, I really don't tolerate jealousy. Like, I was getting ready to leave college, and I had already been through enough. I had been through enough. Do you understand what I'm saying? Enough. And she got mad and wanted to fight. And I was listening to something today, and the girl was like, a broke gonna always want to fight. She gonna always want to fight. Why are you trying to get physically violent with me like I did something to you? Now you're mad because I don't want to deal with you because you were jealous, hater, and your mama wanted to. So now you want to fight me because y'all jacked up in the heart. Why do you need to fight me? Further proving how threatening, not really threat, but you get what I'm saying? Like, you don't need to be over here. Further proving that. But she did want to fight me. Actually, a lot of girls wanted to fight me before I left school, and I didn't even do nothing. I don't know why fighting is always the answer. I didn't even do anything. Like, this is literally why I had so much anxiety, or had so much anxiety. But I thank God. So I pray this helps whoever it's for. I'm picking up on a whole lot of stuff right now, but I've never shared that with y'all, I don't think. So that's what happened. I was up against generational hate, right? At a time where I was supposed to be experiencing breakthrough, and no telling... what people like that, like, that's witchcraft. Witchcraft is not just the hocus pocus stuff. That's why I always say that throws off the energy, the atmosphere. That's why you got to get them people out from around you. Okay. And they were very pressed. They were pressed about all of that. They were pressed about my situation, my status. They was pressed about my parents, everything. They was just pressed. Get them folks out from around you. Okay. Good night. I love y'all. Okay. And this is leading into a whole nother word, but this behavior right here, how they was acting, what good man wants to deal with a woman like that? And I've been thinking about that a lot this year. If I was a man, I wouldn't want to be with no jealous, hating woman. Like, imagine marrying a woman and you see that she hate her little cousin. That's strange to me. I wouldn't want to be married to you, right? Or somebody that's just so mean, a woman that's just mean, you bitter inside, you angry. No man wants to deal with that. So that also goes back to the curse. Look at how you behave. What man is going to want to stick around for that? Like, ew, you're one of them. That's how I would feel. That's how I would legitimately feel.